It is such an honor to be in this room. I feel like I'm walking into a room of family. We have so much in common. The color of our skin and the language that we speak is now a reason for being picked up, being targeted. The Latino community and your community has experienced this for a long time. And after 9/11, your community was in the news, and now my community is in the news. But truly, people walk by us and they could confuse you for my father and confuse me for your daughter. So we are, in all of this time, we are together. I want to talk to you about why I'm running for controller, but let me just tell a few of you as to why I'm doing that. Those who don't know my past and what has led me here, you need to know my heart to know why I do what I do. My parents owned a small business in my local community. And from the time I was 13 until the time I was 25 years old, I worked in that shop and I took care of the customers, and they would come in and ask me to translate documents, and they would ask me to go with them to their doctor's appointments, and they would ask me to go with them to register their child in school, and I did. And I was only 13, 14, 15, 16 doing these things with them, but that's what you do, right? That's what you do for your neighbors. And eventually I realized I wanted to do something to help other people, so I went to school and I got my degree and I got my master's in social work, and I got right to work as a school social worker in that same community that helped raise me. And in that time I got to see the beauty of our community at a different level, and the struggles and the pains of our community at a different level as well. And so eventually I was looking around and thinking, there's no one in this area that represents us that looks like me or who is a Democrat, for that matter, at any level. Because remember, I live out in DuPage County. And so I said, well, I'm gonna run for office, because at that time, Bruce Rauner was not passing a budget. So they were cutting services to healthcare, to mental health, to housing, all of the services that our working families really depended on day after day. So I said, I'm gonna stop complaining, I'm gonna do something about it. So I went out and I knocked on doors for 2 years. People thought I was crazy. They're like, when is this election? What are you doing? But for 2 years, I listened and listened and listened, and I kept going around and asking people what their concerns were. People's concerns are the same here, there, and everywhere. They want a great community to raise their children in a safe space. They want good public education, and they want to know that their tax dollars are being taken care of by their elected officials. So I worked hard and I flipped a district. I switched it from Republican to Democrat, and 2 years later, the guy named Jim Oberweis, I replaced him. I got rid of him. I went into the Senate. And my friend and mentor is sitting right back here, Senator Laura Murphy, a friend to the community. And let me tell you, in that time, we've worked so hard to pass legislation on behalf of our communities, helping make their worlds a better place, and things were looking up until the second term happened. And many of us knew what was coming because we read it in his Project 2025 manual. We knew what was coming. And we knew what would come was going to be slashes to the federal budget in order to fund his military and in order to fund ICE. And sure enough, that's what he's doing. And we're watching it play out horrifically in front of our very eyes. We are watching it play out. So then, fast forward to the day Susana Mendoza announces that she will not be running for re-election. And so I got a phone call saying, Karina, are you interested in running for controller? And I said, well, what about Susana? Well, she announced she's not running for re-election. You see, I was in Mexico visiting my dad in a rural part of Mexico, so I hadn't been catching up with the news. So I said, well, what do I need to do? And they said, well, you need to be here on Friday in order to go for slating in front of the party, the Cook County Democratic Party. There's 50 members who are going to vote, and you need to be there to present. And in the meantime, you need to call everyone and ask them to support you. So I said, okay, let me do it. I'm down. This is an important role, and I'll tell you why it's so important in a second, but let me finish this part of the story. So I get on a bus overnight to the border. I get on a bus from the Mexico side of the border in the morning at like 6 a.m. I cross the border to El Paso. I get on a plane. Well, actually, I missed my first flight. I get on a plane eventually, and I fly to Chicago. I get a hotel room in the city. I go to sleep. I wake up the next morning in order to go to the slating process. All the meantime, I'm calling 50 committee people who are all like, yes, 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 we're with you, including, of course, my friend Laura Murphy and Don Harmon. Delia Ramirez and Chuy Garcia were all in with me. Senate President Don Harmon, as well as President Tony Preckwinkle, were all in with me. And at 9 o'clock the night before I was going to the slating, I get a call, and I'm so excited. I was about to have a glass of wine. I was so excited. And let me tell you what the call said. The caller said, Karina, they're not wanting to vote for you. Why? What do you mean? I have the votes. No. A billionaire is calling people to tell them that you are a keffiyeh-wearing, Hamas-loving anti-Semite. And they should not vote for you. And if they vote for you, that person, that billionaire, is going to remember them when it comes time for the re-election. And so the next day I went and I boldly spoke and I gave my speech, and I still had many allies, including Senator Murphy, who voted yes for me, who stood the line and said, we are with Karina. But I came a little short, and I did not get the party endorsement. And then my phone started ringing. Karina, are you okay? Are you okay? Everything they were saying about you, it's so horrific. And you know what I said? I was like, what? They said I wear a keffiyeh. I really do. They're accusing me for standing up for people who are dying, who are waiting in line for food. They're like, but what does that have to do with your race? It has nothing to do with my race, but they brought it up. And yes, it's true. I am standing up. Every single day I will stand up until that atrocity is over. And so I'm still running for that race. And I could use donations, KarinaVilla.com, look me up, send me some money. But why? Why am I running for that seat? All joking aside, but really I do need money. I am running for that seat because this seat, the seat of the controller right now with the federal government slashing the budget, and by the way, right now, shutting down government, we in the state of Illinois are in dire straits. Our small businesses are suffering, Chamber. Our small businesses are struggling. Our healthcare services are struggling, mental health services are struggling, our immigration services are struggling, and this federal government is looking to chop us off at the knees with our budget. Budget paid for by the hard-working people of Illinois. And we need a controller who's going to know how to organize and prioritize the order in which the bills are paid, and prioritize the people who need it the most, in order of the most vulnerable people in society, because that is what I believe our task is to do right now. And inshallah, one day, we will celebrate when this man is out of office. Inshallah, one day, we will celebrate when these bombs stop and these murders stop. But until then, we need bold leaders in every single space, no matter what the issue is. And if it is the bombs in Gaza, that people use their voice, leaders use their voice. Or if it's the people who are homeless on the sides of the street, that leaders use their voice. Or if it's ICE terrorizing my city, that leaders stand up and say, this is my city. That is the bold leadership that we need right now. Thank you so much. Thank you.